Married for 3 years, it took 2 years of IVF to conceive. At 8 months, I discovered, to spare his mistress suffering, he actually implanted his mistress's embryo in my womb. He even brought his mistress to live in my house, conspired to drug me, and took naked pictures of me to humiliate me with his sleazy buddies. I pretended to take the medicine, secretly collected evidence, first aborted the child, then exposed their dirty laundry online, and sold the mansion and company for a rock-bottom price before divorcing him. Later, he found out his mistress had run off with someone else. In a fit of rage, he killed someone, then jumped into the sea and died. Aren't you afraid Clara will break down when she finds out the truth? After all, who would want to raise someone else's child? Especially since the baby she carried for 10 months isn't even hers. Brett teased Derek, watching him. She's too stupid to ever find out. Besides, even if she did, what then? She's already 8 months along. Is she going to abort it now? Look at her now, fat as a pig. Who else would want her besides me? True. Everyone knows how much Clara likes you. She's been stuck to you like glue for years. But I'm really curious what it's like to be intimate with a pregnant woman. Brett's face twisted into an evil grin as he raised an eyebrow at Derek. Derek's eyes immediately flickered with disgust. She's fat as a pig. Just looking at her kills my desire, let alone anything else. I'd rather watch porn than look at that watermelon-sized belly of hers. It's disgusting. Since you're not interested, why don't you let your buddy here give it a try next time? I really want to know what it's like to be intimate with a pregnant woman. After Brett's vulgar remark, the two men in the room burst into raucous laughter, each sound like a knife plunging into my heart. 'Cause of IVF, I'd taken countless hormone medications and received endless injections over the past 2 years, leaving my body bloated and out of shape. After I became pregnant, Derek always worried I wasn't getting enough nutrition, making me overeat every day. This led to an overly large fetus, and by 5 months, my belly was covered in ugly stretch marks. I once thought he pitied my sacrifices, but now I understood he only cared about the combination of him and Ashley growing inside me. I clenched my fists tightly, cold sweat broke out on my back, and I practically fled from the suffocating room. After calming down, I unhesitatingly pulled out my phone and dialed the hospital's appointment line. Hello, I'd like to schedule an abortion. I rushed to the hospital that very night, afraid I'd go crazy if I stayed a second longer. The attending doctor at the hospital looked at my huge belly and confirmed with me repeatedly. You're 8 months pregnant. Are you sure you want to terminate now? What about the baby's father? He's dead. Since Derek was so looking forward to this child, I decided to prepare a big gift for him. Seeing my utterly despairing eyes, the doctor didn't ask any more questions. She quickly prescribed me medication and handed me the appointment slip. Take this medicine, then come back to the hospital for the procedure in 3 days. Exhausted, I returned home with the appointment slip, only to find the keyless entry lock kept showing an incorrect password. Just as I was about to call, the door suddenly opened and Ashley emerged in a sexy nightgown. Clara, the lights at my place are broken. Derek didn't want me to be alone, so he asked me to move in with him for a while. He changed the password to my birthday because he was afraid I wouldn't remember it. You don't mind, do you? My gaze fell on Ashley's slipped strap, clear marks on her chest, and she wasn't wearing a bra. Clara is so understanding, how could she possibly mind? Derek was sitting on the sofa, his pants wrinkled, his shirt on backward, and a puddle of water stain on the cushion. Derek got up and pulled me into his arms. Going out so late without saying anything? You're pregnant. What would I do if something happened to you? I felt a chill inwardly as I looked at Derek's seemingly affectionate demeanor. He pretended to be so caring towards me, but behind my back, he was openly having an affair with his idealized love in my own home, even changing the password so I wouldn't suddenly walk in. I didn't argue with him further and just went upstairs. That evening, Derek, who never liked milk, suddenly poured me a glass. You're in your third trimester now. You need to be extra careful about protein and calcium intake. Honey, drink your milk. My eyes darkened as I looked at the milk Derek offered. I don't want it. Seeing my refusal, Derek's expression turned a bit awkward, but he patiently coaxed me. I'm only doing this for your and the baby's good, honey, just listen to me. With that, Derek directly forced the milk into my mouth without another word. After drinking the sickly sweet milk, I began to feel drowsy. In a haze, I thought I saw two figures intertwined beside me. When I woke up the next day, my entire body ached so much I could barely get up. After Derek left for work, I opened my phone video recording. Yesterday, after Derek fed me the milk, I turned on my phone's video recording and hid the phone in the flower pot. The moment I saw the video, a wave of shame tore at my heart. After I fell asleep, Derek and Ashley kissed their way from the door and then rolled onto the floor next to me. Derek, you have no idea how much it hurts me every day to see you with this woman. Derek spat on my face, then kicked my body aside. How can that fat hag compare to you? I'm only with her for the baby in her belly. If I hadn't wanted to spare you suffering, why would I have married her? Compared to you, she can't even compare to a single strand of your hair. Ashley watched me with interest. Are you sure you gave her enough sleeping pills? As Ashley spoke, she started pulling off my clothes. What if she finds out the truth after the baby is born? It's better if we have some leverage on her. Derek seemed to agree with Ashley, and also helped Ashley start taking off my clothes until I was stark naked. Then they dragged me onto a stool, making me sit with my legs spread wide, facing the bed. Derek kept taking pictures of me with his phone, while Ashley continuously changed my poses. After taking enough photos, the two of them began to brazenly have sex with my unconscious body. I watched the scenes on my phone, tears streaming down my face, my heart ached terribly. I turned off my phone and unhesitatingly swallowed the medicine the doctor had prescribed for me. What are you taking? Suddenly, Derek's anxious voice came from the doorway, and I met his concerned gaze. Just ordinary calcium pills. Hearing me say that, Derek relaxed, then headed upstairs. I forgot to grab some documents. Watching Derek's retreating back as he went upstairs, I picked up the phone he'd left on the table. I entered Ashley's birthday, and instantly, Derek's phone displayed a wallpaper of him and Ashley embracing and kissing. His phone indeed had a secret mode. I quickly opened Derek's messaging app. The top was Ashley's profile picture, and second was his group chat with his guys. I clicked on the group chat, and the messages that appeared made my heart tremble, almost dropping my phone. Inside, it was packed with the naked photos Derek and Ashley had taken last night. Derek, nice one. Clara here is still alluring. Don't even say it, this pregnant woman really has a unique allure. I just wonder what she's like sexually. Seriously, Clara looking like a slut, she'd definitely be a top call girl at a high-end club. Brett and the guy's vulgar words made my mind go blank. Felt as if I were a naked animal being pointed at and humiliated through the screen. Honey, why are your eyes red? When Derek came downstairs with his documents, I was already back on the sofa. Derek took a blanket and covered me with it. It's still a bit chilly, you're pregnant, so you really need to be careful. Tonight is Ashley's birthday, and I'm planning a party for her at home. I've invited a few friends over tonight, so dress nicely. Hearing Ashley's name, I trembled slightly, my expression turning cold. I want to rest well at home today. I don't want to be disturbed. Derek's face immediately darkened. Ashley's birthday is only once a year. I'm just helping her celebrate. Do you have to use your pregnancy to manipulate me? I've accommodated you enough during this pregnancy. This one thing I can't agree to. Even though I hadn't said anything, Derek was already eagerly defending his idealized love. I should have realized it long ago. Love and lack thereof are always so obvious. In the end, Derek still invited his sleazy buddies over to celebrate Ashley's birthday. The moment I came downstairs, I felt everyone's eyes fall on me. Those gazes held a mix of mockery, disdain, and ill intent. Clara, we're wearing the same dress. We're truly on the same wavelength, aren't we? Ashley walked over intimately and linked her arm through mine. Only then did I notice that my red dress was identical to Ashley's. This dress definitely looks better on you, Ashley. Clara is pregnant now, fat and ugly. She isn't half as alluring as you. Derek didn't hesitate to put me down to elevate his praise for Ashley. Derek, you shouldn't say that. In my opinion, Clara has an even more unique allure while pregnant. Brett grabbed my hand and rubbed his palm against the back of my hand, his eyes full of lewdness. I tried to forcefully pull away from Brett's hand but found his grip tightened. He raised an eyebrow at me suggestively. I like women like Clara. They feel good to touch. I cast a pleading glance at Derek, but he merely looked at me indifferently. In your current state, my buddy here complimenting you is your good fortune. Don't be ungrateful. I gritted my teeth, my voice barely a whisper through them. Derek, I'm your wife. Derek slowly rose from the sofa and pulled me closer. Honey, they're just joking around. You're taking it too seriously. I coldly shook off his hand. You guys have fun. I'm going upstairs to rest. Just as I was about to leave, Derek held out a glass of milk to me. Drink your milk first. It's for calcium. Once you finish, you can go rest. My body trembled uncontrollably as I looked at the milk in Derek's hand. What are you trying to do? I'm just worried you're low on calcium in your third trimester and want to help you supplement it. Don't you trust your husband? Derek still maintained his concerned expression. I pushed the milk away. I don't want to drink it. Derek's face quickly turned cold. I've given you enough slack today, and I'm doing this for your own good. Drink it now. Derek, don't be so harsh. If Clara doesn't want to drink it, don't force her. She's pregnant after all, you should accommodate her more. Ashley walked over at the right moment and handed me a glass of water. Clara, drink this glass of water first. I held the glass of water in my hand, looking at the clear liquid within. If I drink this, can I go upstairs to rest? With that, I gulped down the water. The warm water slid down my throat, and then I felt my body gradually begin to heat up, as if countless worms were crawling and gnawing at me. What did you give me? Through asking that question, my legs felt heavy as lead, and then my body went limp, collapsing into an unfamiliar embrace. My vision blurred, and I could only see Brett's evil face staring at me eagerly, his hand continuously stroking my body. Ashley, your move is truly ruthless. Afraid the photos wouldn't be enough to threaten her, you drugged her directly so she'd willingly throw herself at us. That way, even if she discovers the truth about the baby's parentage, with this leverage, she wouldn't dare expose it, and she'd be completely at your mercy. Let me go. My last shred of sanity screamed forcefully. But I couldn't muster any strength. I could only look at Derek, hoping to awaken a sliver of conscience in him. Derek, with one arm around Ashley, glanced at me indifferently before looking at Brett. Guys, be gentle. She's still pregnant, and that's Ashley's and my baby. Brett's hand continued to roam restlessly over my body. Don't worry, guys, we'll be careful. We promise not to harm your baby in the slightest. With that, Brett picked me up directly and started walking upstairs. I looked at Derek in despair. You'll regret this. In that glass of water, besides the aphrodisiac, I also added an anesthetic that makes people forget the most painful things. When you wake up tomorrow, you'll still be Derek's lapdog. Ashley said triumphantly, raising the wine glass in her hand. Have a good dream tonight. The next second, my world plunged into darkness. In the darkness, I only felt something tearing at me, almost ripping me to shreds. When I regained consciousness, I was stark naked on the floor, large pools of blood gushing from beneath me. Help me! I crawled laboriously to the door and pounded on it. A burst of laughter came from outside the door. Stop faking it. Your loud moans were louder than anyone's just now. Just go to sleep. You won't remember anything when you wake up tomorrow. Then Derek's voice sounded. Now that the main event is over, let's move on to the next one. Immediately after, a loud bang of a door closing echoed, leaving me isolated in despair. I painfully opened the door and crawled out, a horrifying trail of bright red blood snaking from my back, a shocking sight. I crawled all the way downstairs before I managed to get my phone and call the hospital. When I next woke up, I was in a hospital room, permeated with the smell of disinfectant. Miss Clara, your baby didn't make it. How would you like to handle the baby's remains? The nurse looked at me sympathetically. I looked at the item the nurse handed me without a ripple of emotion. Please call for a package delivery for me. Derek and his group returned home after a night of revelry. The moment they opened the door, they saw a horrifying trail of blood winding from upstairs all the way to the living room. What happened? Clara. Derek ran upstairs like a madman, but aside from a large pool of blood, there was no one in the room. Just then, the doorbell rang. Hello. Is this Mr. Derek? There's a package delivery for you. Could you please sign for it yourself? Derek froze. He couldn't recall ordering any package delivery. He took the large box with a puzzled expression, and an overpowering smell of rust hit him. An ominous premonition spread through Derek's heart, and his hand trembled uncontrollably as he opened the box. The moment the box was opened, everyone gasped. Ah! Ashley Jenkins screamed repeatedly in terror. This is impossible. Ethan Miller froze, the box in his hand fell to the ground, its contents spilling out, dark red blood staining his shoes. Ethan Miller's gaze fell on the back of the box. There, written in vivid red blood, were a row of prominent words. Hope you and Ashley Jenkins like this gift. Ethan Miller's eyes immediately filled with panic, then he pulled out his phone and called me. The call continuously showed unavailable. Clearly, I had blocked him. She knows everything, she knows it all. Ethan Miller mumbled to himself, then, with bloodshot eyes, he looked up and grabbed Chad Dixon by the collar. What exactly did you all do to her last night? Chad Dixon stammered for a long time under Ethan Miller's terrifying gaze. We had your permission. Shouldn't you be asking Ashley Jenkins about this? Didn't she say the drug had anesthetic in it, that it would temporarily numb her nerves, and she wouldn't remember anything when she woke up? Chad Dixon's trembling hand pointed at Ashley Jenkins. Ashley Jenkins froze, then somewhat frantically grabbed Ethan Miller's hand. Ethan, I'm just as heartbroken about losing the baby as you are. That was my own flesh and blood. I did drug her, but I wasn't the one who violated her. The trail of blood clearly indicates it was left last night. Ashley Jenkins, as if passing the buck, threw the question back. Chad Dixon cursed under his breath, then looked at Ethan Miller and said, Ethan Miller, haven't you always disliked her? Now that her baby is gone, you can finally be with Ashley Jenkins, right? Yesterday, the guys all tried her out for you. Her figure is truly awful, and who knows how long it'll take her to recover after giving birth. The words had barely left his mouth when a thud echoed. Ethan Miller powerfully punched Chad Dixon in the face. Shut up! Olivia Hayes is my wife, and it's not your place to dictate anything. Ethan Miller had put all his strength into that punch. Chad Dixon was knocked to the ground by a single blow, blood continuously bubbling from his mouth, and 2 teeth came out with the blood. Chad Dixon clutched his mouth, pointing at Ethan Miller with a face full of fury. It's just a woman. Do you really have to be like this? Didn't you despise her first? You and Ashley Jenkins were the ones who said you needed some leverage, which is why we went in on her. Now the baby's gone, what's with this act? Shut up! Ethan Miller seemed to have reached his breaking point, directly pinning Chad Dixon to the ground and punching him repeatedly. Ethan, stop hitting him! Ashley Jenkins, fearing the situation would escalate, tried to step forward and intervene, but Ethan Miller forcefully shoved her away. Ashley Jenkins landed squarely on the clump of flesh and blood, immediately jumping up in horror. "What a mess! This is so unlucky." Ethan Miller heard Ashley Jenkins shout, turned his head to glance at her, and a cold glint flashed in his eyes. Just then, Ethan Miller's assistant rushed over. "Mr. Miller, this is bad. Someone posted a video of you and Ms. Jenkins online, and it's going viral across the internet. Miller corpse stock is plummeting." Ethan Miller quickly took the tablet from his assistant and tapped on the video. The video showed him and Ashley Jenkins dragging Olivia Hayes like a dog on a stool, humiliating her. Comment section had exploded. Normally, Ethan Miller acts like he's devoted to his wife, but who knew he was such a hypocrite behind her back? Is he even human? He's an animal. Olivia Hayes was pregnant, and they actually did something like that. This Ashley Jenkins is an absolute slut. Not only did she seduce someone else's husband, but she also incited Ethan Miller to do such despicable things. It's truly outrageous. Ashley Jenkins' legs went weak at the comments, and she almost collapsed to her knees. This must be that bitch Olivia Hayes. She knew about us all along and was just waiting for us. Maybe she even deliberately aborted the baby. Ashley Jenkins tightly clutched Ethan Miller's sleeve. "We can't just let her get away with this, she's trying to ruin us." Ethan Miller shook off Ashley Jenkins' hand and looked at his assistant. "Where is Olivia Hayes now? I need to see her." After the assistant handed him an address, Ethan Miller, completely disregarding his lingering intoxication, drove, running through a dozen red lights to rush to the hospital. As soon as he arrived at the hospital, Ethan Miller rushed straight to the maternity ward. "Olivia Hayes, I'm here." Ethan Miller pushed the door open, but the room was empty. There was no sign of me. How could this be? Where's Olivia Hayes? Where's my Olivia Hayes? Ethan Miller grabbed a passing nurse, screaming at her frantically. The nurse's eyes showed a hint of disdain when she saw Ethan Miller. "You have the nerve to come to the hospital? Your wife was covered in blood when she was brought in. She almost didn't make it." Ethan Miller's grip on the nurse's hand tightened. "How exactly did Olivia Hayes lose the baby?" The nurse looked at Ethan Miller as if he were an idiot. "Don't you know? You had your fun, and then you didn't even realize your own wife was hemorrhaging. I really don't know how there can be husbands like you in this world." Ethan Miller no longer heard the words that followed, his mind filled only with my last cry for help. "Save me." But at that time, Ethan Miller had been laughing with those who violated her, then walked away, leaving her alone in despair. With a thud, Ethan Miller fell to his knees. "It was me. I hurt her and I hurt my child." Ethan Miller's face was streaked with tears, his eyes filled with remorse. "So where is my Olivia Hayes now? Please, I beg you, tell me." The nurse looked at him and let out a long sigh. "I don't know. Someone picked her up this morning." Ethan Miller immediately tried to stand up, when suddenly 2 traffic police officers approached him. "Mr. Miller, you're suspected of running red lights. Please come with us." Ethan Miller was detained for running red lights and DUI. I received the news while lying in a luxury recovery clinic, eating fruit. What are you going to do now? Ethan Miller and Ashley Jenkins are completely ruined. My best friend looked at the wound on my abdomen, her eyes reddening with sympathy. "Of course I'm getting a divorce. I don't want to be involved with a man like that for the rest of my life." With things this messy, Ethan Miller won't agree to a divorce. I put down the fork in my hand. He will agree to the divorce. But those videos you posted online, they were a double-edged sword. Are you truly not going to regret it? My best friend still hasn't dared to watch those videos. Even though I was in the most luxurious recovery clinic, people inside looked at me with curiosity, disdain, and a strange malice. I shook my head. A woman's worth isn't defined by outdated societal judgments. I haven't done anything wrong. Why should I care what others think? After my body recovered a bit, I went to the police station and saw Ethan Miller, his face covered in stubble, in the detention room. Olivia Hayes, I know I was wrong. Can you please forgive me this one time? The moment Ethan Miller saw me, he knelt at my feet, looking at me with a face full of remorse, like a devout believer. Ethan Miller, you used me to carry your child with Ashley Jenkins, and then you took those photos of me. Do you think saying I'm sorry will fix all of this? Ethan Miller, his hands cuffed, reached out and took my hand. Olivia Hayes, as long as you can forgive me, I'll agree to whatever you ask. I lowered my gaze to Ethan Miller's face, then took a stack of documents from my bag. I want you to transfer all your assets into my name. Ethan Miller nodded without hesitation. Okay, I agree. I handed the documents to Ethan Miller, then passed him a pen, watching him write his name. After he signed, I turned to another page. Ethan Miller clearly hesitated. Just as he tried to read the words written there, I took his hand. I was 8 months pregnant. Do you know how I felt when I saw the baby removed without a sound? During the day, I could still feel him moving, and then that night, he was taken from my body lifeless. Don't say another word. Olivia Hayes. I'm so sorry, it's all my fault. I promise you, once I'm out, I will make it up to you properly. After Ethan Miller finished speaking, he signed his name on it without even looking. I put the signed documents back into my bag, then stood up, looking down at Ethan Miller. Only when you truly lose everything will you understand who around you is human and who is a monster. Ethan Miller looked at me, puzzled. I said nothing more and turned to leave. Olivia Hayes, wait for me to get out. I promise to be by your side and live a good life with you. I didn't stop, striding straight out of the police station. You don't have a future. Walking out of the police station, I took the documents from my bag, pulled out the divorce agreement tucked inside, and called my lawyer. Help me process the divorce as quickly as possible. Ethan Miller was released from the police station a month later. Olivia Hayes, I'm back. He rushed home eagerly, but upon pushing open the door, he saw several unfamiliar faces moving things out of the house. Who are you? Why are you in my house? Who allowed you in? Ethan Miller's face turned cold. The faces of those people also looked displeased. And who are you? You look like a beggar. This is my house, the mansion I just bought. The middle-aged man looked at the disheveled Ethan Miller with disdain in his eyes. What? Ethan Miller froze, looking at the man in disbelief. Who sold it to you? The owner of this house, of course. I heard her name is Olivia Hayes, the 8-month pregnant woman from that viral video a while ago. The homeowner waved a feather duster at Ethan Miller. Get lost. You're just a homeless guy. Do you even know who that is? You dare to come here? Get out, don't dirty my floor, you're bad luck. Ethan Miller, as if all his strength had left him, allowed the man to push him out the door, then slumped onto the ground. Through a long while, Ethan Miller finally got up from the ground, his trembling hands repeatedly calling me. The phone number was already disconnected. Ethan Miller then found my number and sent me a voice message. Olivia Hayes, you're joking with me, right? Please come back, okay? I'm waiting for you at home. As soon as the voice message was sent, a prominent red exclamation mark appeared. I had already blocked him a long time ago. Ethan Miller froze completely, then called his assistant. As soon as the call connected, Ethan Miller fiercely yelled into the phone. What good are you? You didn't even know my mansion was sold? What use is a good-for-nothing like you to me? Ethan Miller, there's something you might have misunderstood. For the first time, the assistant's tone lacked any of his usual deference. You're no longer my boss. Ethan Miller froze, his brows furrowed. You resigned? Why didn't you inform me? The assistant let out a light laugh. Do you think you're still the high and mighty Miller Corporation's CEO? Do I still need to report to you? A sudden tremor ran through Ethan Miller's heart, and a huge sense of dread enveloped him. What do you mean by that? Miller Corporation has already dissolved. Company went bankrupt. You can drop that CEO attitude of yours now. Ethan Miller's hand, clutching his phone, paused. This is impossible. I was only detained for a month. How could Miller Corporation collapse so quickly? You must be lying to me. Ethan Miller roared, losing control. Lying to you? If you don't believe me, go to Miller Corporation and see whose name is on the company now. Olivia Hayes, holding your transfer agreement, already sold the company at a low price. I advise you to sober up quickly. You're nothing but a beaten dog that anyone can kick now. With that, the assistant hung up. Ethan Miller stared at the disconnected phone, and my last words from the detention room echoed in his mind. Only when you truly lose everything will you understand who around you is human and who is a monster. Ethan Miller knelt on the ground, crying out in agony. Just then, a delivery driver stood before Ethan Miller. Mr. Miller? I have a document here that requires your signature. Ethan Miller's hand trembled as he looked at the delivery driver. The fright from the last delivery was still vivid in his memory. Ethan Miller took the document and felt it through the envelope. Only after realizing it was official papers inside did he sign. This must be from Olivia Hayes. I knew she couldn't let go of me. Ethan Miller mumbled to himself as he tore open the document. When he saw the stark words divorce decree on the official document inside, he froze as if struck by lightning. How could this be? Ethan Miller, his hands trembling, pulled out the divorce agreement, then slumped to the ground, collapsing like a withered plant that had lost its support. Ethan Miller frantically ran outside the company building, only to find that the prominent Miller on the company sign had been replaced by Dixon at some point. Isn't that our high and mighty Mr. Miller? Why does he look like a street dog now? Suddenly, a familiar voice rang out. Ethan Miller turned his head and saw Chad Dixon with an arm around Ashley Jenkins, leaning against a Ferrari. Ashley? Ethan Miller looked at Ashley Jenkins in disbelief. Ashley Jenkins wrapped her arms around Chad Dixon's waist, leaning seductively against his chest. Don't call me that, my Chad Dixon gets jealous. Ethan Miller trembled with rage at their intimate display. How could you do this to me? Ashley Jenkins, I lost everything for you. Even Olivia Hayes has abandoned me now. How could you treat me like this? Ashley Jenkins looked at him with utter disdain. You're a penniless nobody now. How could you still be worthy of me? Ashley Jenkins, you bitch. If you hadn't instigated me back then, I wouldn't have made such a huge mistake with Olivia Hayes. This is all your fault. Ethan Miller lunged forward. But before his hand could even touch Ashley Jenkins, Chad Dixon kicked him to the ground. You useless piece of trash, trying to touch my woman? Chad Dixon then savagely stomped on Ethan Miller's hand, followed by a violent kick to his face. 2 of Ethan Miller's front teeth were instantly knocked out, his mouth filled with blood, bleeding profusely. Chad Dixon had been holding a grudge ever since Ethan Miller hit him last time, and after being trampled under Ethan Miller's heel for so many years, he had long wanted to teach Ethan Miller a lesson. You dared to hit me? Ethan Miller clutched his mouth, his face filled with rage but utterly powerless to fight back. Chad Dixon stomped on Ethan Miller's hand again, grinding his heel into it. I'll hit you whenever I want to. Do I need to pick a special day? Do you think you're still the high and mighty Miller Corporation CEO? Olivia Hayes already sold your company to me at a low price. Now I'm the owner of this company, and even your former woman is mine. Chad Dixon looked at Ethan Miller provocatively, then spat on his head. I won't let you get away with this. Ethan Miller clenched his fists tightly, glaring fiercely at them. Ashley Jenkins slowly squatted down in front of Ethan Miller, looking at him with an expression of utter contempt. Ethan Miller, I advise you to save your strength. You're a beaten dog now. Anyone can just walk by and kick you. What makes you think you can fight us? Blood continuously gushed from Ethan Miller's mouth. Ethan Miller stared intensely at Ashley Jenkins. So, this is your true face? Ashley Jenkins chuckled softly and patted his face. People always strive for higher ground, and water flows downwards. Isn't that just human nature? If you were still the high and mighty Mr. Miller, I guarantee I'd still be by your side, letting you do whatever you pleased. With that, Ashley Jenkins linked arms with Chad Dixon, then stood on tiptoes and kissed Chad Dixon's cheek. Come on, don't we have important business to attend to? Chad Dixon laughed heartily, then wrapped his arm around Ashley Jenkins' waist, giving her a hard squeeze on her rear. You're such a teasing little devil. No wonder Ethan Miller was so obsessed with you before. Ethan Miller slowly got up from the ground, watching their retreating figures, his eyes gradually darkening. My last words echoed endlessly in his mind. Only when you truly lose everything will you understand who around you is human and who is a monster. Olivia Hayes, I think I understand now. I know I was wrong. Can you please come back to me? Ethan Miller mumbled to himself, head bowed. The night wind blew piercingly cold. Ethan Miller scaled the wall and climbed into a mansion. Inside, the sounds of moaning continued. Ethan Miller, holding a rope, quietly walked behind the man, then slipped the rope around the man's neck and pulled forcefully. Ah! Help! Ashley Jenkins screamed wildly and continuously. Chad Dixon's entire face turned purple from lack of air. Help me! Chad Dixon kept reaching out to Ashley Jenkins, hoping she would help him. Ashley Jenkins merely stared blankly as Ethan Miller strangled Chad Dixon until he couldn't speak, then he widened his eyes and took his last breath. Ethan Miller flung Chad Dixon's body aside, then stomped on his head. I let you touch my Olivia Hayes, I let you humiliate my Olivia Hayes. You deserve to die most of all. Ashley Jenkins watched Ethan Miller's deranged appearance, quietly inching away, trying to crawl out. The next second, Ethan Miller violently grabbed Ashley Jenkins' hair, dragging her to Chad Dixon's corpse. Don't you love seducing men? Go on, do it now. Ashley Jenkins knelt on the ground, begging endlessly for mercy. I was wrong. Ethan. Please forgive me this one time, okay? I promise I'll stay by your side obediently from now on. Smack! Ethan Miller forcefully slapped Ashley Jenkins across the face. Stay with me? You? You're a common whore. Ashley Jenkins ignored her swollen face and quickly grabbed Ethan Miller's hand. Ethan, I was forced into it. You know I'm just a weak woman, what could I do? When you were detained, Chad Dixon forced me to be with him. I couldn't resist. Ashley Jenkins cried uncontrollably, as if she had suffered some immense injustice. Ethan Miller grabbed Ashley Jenkins' neck, his eyes bloodshot like an envoy from hell. Do you think I'd still believe you? If you hadn't instigated me back then, I wouldn't have ended up like this. If it weren't for you, Olivia Hayes and I wouldn't have divorced, and I wouldn't have lost Olivia Hayes and my child. Ashley Jenkins tightly gripped Ethan Miller's hand. That was my baby too. As a mother, I'm more heartbroken than anyone. Ethan Miller just let me go and I promise you I'll have another child for you, okay? Ethan Miller held Ashley Jenkins' neck with one hand and slapped her face with the other. A wretch like you doesn't deserve to bear my child. You're not even worthy of Olivia Hayes' little finger. Ashley Jenkins looked at Ethan Miller's terrifying gaze, the fear in her eyes steadily growing. Ethan Miller, who do you think you are? Some good person? All of this today is your own doing. Ethan Miller froze, his grip loosening slightly. Ashley Jenkins took the opportunity to break free. You're the most hypocritical one. If you hadn't suggested forcing her into surrogacy for Olivia Hayes back then, none of this would have happened today. You claimed to love Olivia Hayes, yet you allowed Chad Dixon to assault her while she was pregnant. You said you loved me, but you married Olivia Hayes. In the end, you only love yourself. You are the most selfish person. Ashley Jenkins, throwing caution to the wind, pointed at Ethan Miller and began to curse him furiously. The madness in Ethan Miller's eyes became increasingly apparent. That's not true, I didn't. The only person I've ever loved from beginning to end is Olivia Hayes. It's all because of you. Because you blinded me. You killed my child and you made Olivia Hayes leave me. Ethan Miller grabbed Ashley Jenkins' hair, then mercilessly slammed her head against the coffee table. There was a loud thud, the coffee table shattered, and bright red blood streamed continuously from Ashley Jenkins' head. Ashley Jenkins struggled to get up, but Ethan Miller directly stomped on Ashley Jenkins' chest. Since you've committed a wrong, you must accept the punishment you deserve. With that, Ethan Miller took out a knife and slowly cut into Ashley Jenkins' abdomen. No. You should go find Olivia Hayes. She sold your company and your mansion. Everything that happened to you is her fault. I can tell you where Olivia Hayes is. Ethan Miller's hand paused. In the early hours of the morning, a mansion caught fire late at night. The flames raged, and a man and a woman perished in the blaze. After leaving the mansion, Ethan Miller headed straight for the suburbs. The night wind was unusually cold. I sat on the porch, a satisfied smile on my face as I watched the sleeping children inside. By the time Ethan Miller arrived at the destination Ashley Jenkins had given him, dawn had broken. He looked up and realized it was a children's home. Many children were playing games in the yard. A group of children were laughing and playing around a woman. The woman's eyes were full of gentle light. Just as the woman looked up, Ethan Miller hid in the shadows like a thief. Ethan Miller looked at the woman's face, filled with maternal love and thinking of the child he had lost. He didn't even have the courage to step forward and question her. Mama Olivia, do you have children? Suddenly, a child tugged on my hand and asked. I touched my abdomen and a tear slowly fell. I once had a child of my own, but then he became an angel and flew away. My words were like a knife brutally carving into Ethan Miller's heart. Ethan Miller looked at my face with reluctance, but eventually left. Ethan Miller went to the beach alone. Ethan Miller, when are we getting married? Suddenly, he heard a familiar voice. He turned his head and seemed to see us from 5 years ago. Olivia Hayes, I was wrong. Ethan Miller could no longer control his emotions and began to cry. Then footsteps sounded. Ethan Miller, you are suspected of murder. Please come with us. Several police officers watched him warily. Ethan Miller slowly stood up, seemingly resigned to his fate. Ethan Miller, will you be good to me forever and never deceive me? Olivia Hayes, I will be good to you forever and love only you for my entire life. In his ears were the countless promises of our youth. Ethan Miller glanced at the sea behind him, then jumped in without hesitation. Ethan Miller died by suicide, out of fear of punishment. I saw this news as I was preparing to board my flight. The address Ashley Jenkins gave Ethan Miller was one I had deliberately let Ashley Jenkins discover. I was gambling that Ethan Miller still had a shred of conscience left.